What does 500 or 600 people mean when you inject them into the urban core of our city? I think it's a beautiful thing. My name is Nicholas Kaczynski, and I'm the managing director of Odoo's East Coast office. In 2019, I was presented with an opportunity to start a company in Germany for Odoo. And a few weeks before I was set to go, my CEO reached out to me and said, Nick, we have an office in San Francisco. It's very difficult to grow that office. I'm thinking about establishing another office in the United States in order to accelerate the growth. Where would you go? I evaluated all your traditional options, and I really couldn't make a decision. So there's a famous mathematician, Jacobi, and he has this model where you invert a problem. So instead of asking yourself, what city can I go to be successful, you ask yourself, what city can I go to be unsuccessful? What characteristics would that city possess? Well, it would probably be really difficult to recruit people. You'd probably have a very small university ecosystem. It should be super expensive. If you think about Buffalo, it's quite an interesting place to grow. You have over 270,000 university students in a 200-mile radius. It's one of the most affordable places in the United States. The people are willing to collaborate and they're willing to help you. I know that people talk about that, but it's actually the truth. I think that there's a lot of really compelling variables that make it not just easy to grow a business, but really ideal. So we moved into 40 Fountain Plaza. We have about 103,000 square feet. As of right now, we have around 310 people on payroll. The expectation is that we are at a minimum of 525 jobs by the end of 2027. So with Odoo's most recent valuation being at $5 billion, and with investors behind us like Google, it is imperative that we continue to focus on the US market. To know that a large portion of the work being done in order to take on the US market is coming out of Buffalo is really exciting, and it's a heck of a lot easier to do that in Buffalo than it is to do it in Brooklyn. I can tell you that firsthand. I'm gonna take my Odoo hat off for a second. At the end of the day, right, Odoo is a company that is hiring people and exposing them to situations where they get to build a skill set that is rooted in software and technology. Those are skills that are extremely valuable, not just inside of Odoo, but to a lot of other companies. By injecting these skills into the population of our city, we are creating economic opportunity, not just for people, but we're promoting career mobility. And of course, I want people to stay at Odoo long-term and find a career path here and grow and be happy. But also I understand and I can almost to an extent appreciate if people choose to venture outward. Why? Because in the grand scheme of things, if they were to leave Odoo and find another job in the community where their skills can be put to work, at the end of the day, the tide is rising. And I'm a firm believer that a rising tide lifts all boats. What does 500 or 600 people mean when you inject them into the urban core of our city? I think it's a beautiful thing. I mean, you have people walking around, you have people buying coffee, buying lunch. By bringing all of these people downtown, we're just enriching the user experience that people have when they interact with our city. And I think that's very important long-term when it comes to the success of our ecosystem. I think Buffalo checks a heck of a lot more boxes than a lot of other cities, but it doesn't get that rep because people are too focused on things that are irrelevant and in the grand scheme of things, don't matter. At the end of the day, Buffalo, it is what it is. It has 4 seasons. It's super cold. There's still a lot of work to do when it comes to how do we rebuild the economy of our city. So when people ask me about Buffalo, I'm extremely transparent with them. I tell them the good, the bad, and the ugly. When you do that and they still come, then you have someone who's likely to stick around. And that's what we need. We need people who are in it for the long term, who see the vision, and who are not afraid to roll up their sleeves and dig in.